Show us your tips. Weekend preview time. Daggy and Beaver are with you to get stuck into Caulfield. We've got the Blue Diamond Stakes day there. We've got Rosehill happening with the Hobartville and... No, that's the feature, the Hobartville. And the next lot of slipper lead-ups. We're just saying off air, it's some tricky business this weekend.
Yeah, it looks to be that way, mate. Welcome and happy to be chatting with you again, Daggy, for our weekend show before we get into it. But yeah, it looks to be a bit tricky, some of the races, and thought the fields were possibly a little bit light on quality in some way, shape and form. So nonetheless, hopefully that makes it easier to find a winner.
I agree. We'll I'll bag the races as we go, I suppose, instead of picking them out now. But let's start at Caulfield. It does have the 4 Group 1s. The rail is in the 4-metre position. Good track. No irrigation today. Apparently it's all in magnificent order, so cool. I think it'll just play as Caulfield should. You're always a little bit wary about inside bias, but can only treat it as fair for this. And we start off with any thoughts on the rail or the track? Just treated it as normal.
Just treat it as normal. I don't think you want to be getting too far back at Caulfield like as per normal.
2,000 metres kicks us off. Open handicap, and we start the day with a couple of class runners, but a race bereft of any pace is my biggest concern. How are you starting off here?
Yeah, it's a bit that way, but I still think that the main 2 in the market in Dunkel and Glentanius hold the key here. I just can't see anything outside of those 2 winning. And I think, I kind of looked at it here and just before we came on air here, and I thought, oh, you could nearly back both of them, split your bet 50-50, and you'll make 50, 60% on your money when one of them wins. So that was it's kind of an interesting play, or you could just sort of split it 75-25 and chop it out that way. I've gone for Glentanius, just think it's progressive type. Dunkel's a good up and comer. I think the 5.5 kilo weight pool suits me there. There's not a lot between their struck match between them. Obviously, pace and luck in running will be key, but I'm just leaning slightly towards Glentanius.
Yeah, same thing. I don't have a lot to add. I've given Flash Feeling the next best spot just because I think it pulled its head off last time out, and I think Jamie Carr going on it has to lead. If it doesn't lead, it's no chance in this race. If it does lead, I do think it's a chance because we see so often these are just walkers races and the leader gets away with it. Yep. Do I want to tip it on top? No, but I think it's a live chance. I've gone the same way, Glentanius. I think they worked it out once it got out past the 2,400 last time out. It looked great. Big winner of the St Ledger, freshened up back to 2,000. Maybe concerned, but the trial was fine. I'm going to lean with it. Damien Lane I've found throughout the afternoon as no shocks there. So it on top, you've covered off the major reasons. Gets a 6 kilo swing, etc., etc. But I agree. If you're going to play this way, just trying to get your money back, covering the 2, I would absolutely. I dare say that's what I'll be doing. Put it that way. The second is a good little an interesting benchmark, 84, 1,100 metres. And we've lost Miss Icelandic, who's going over to Adelaide, where it will win. Spoilers there. I'll tip that later on. Tricky race because I've decided to go away from the lead-up, because I almost thought Kin was the best run that lead-up, and it just doesn't win. So I'm going to have something fresh here at double figures on Von Hawk. I think it never got a good ride all last prep. Now resuming with D-Lane inside gate, and I know it on paper is a longer distance horse, but 1,100 metres coming in here very fresh, I think maybe can run you a race. So I'm going to find out, just because I struggled so much to split the rest of them. I do think Baldino is going really well, nice to freshen up, and will be the on-pacer in the race now with I Miss Icelandic coming out. I'm going to make that the main danger at $9. If you were to tip Midtown Boss, which I assume you're going to Beaver, fair enough. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I am tipping Midtown Boss. I don't think this is as tricky as what it may look when you first look at it. Midtown Boss, 3rd up here, so that's perfect. The 8 draw, I think it can sit 1 out, 1 back here. It was exposed early last start, where it sort of had to come in, head it up and get out early, and Raymond Imaginero was the sitting shot there and just got over the top of it, and it is flying. I think,
It's a better horse than probably I gave it credit for, the wind at Raymond area. I know you've been with it, but it's a good horse.
yeah, yeah, that was a really impressive run and showed its quality. And I just thought Midtown Boss was the sitting shot there. It'll be further improved there, and I just don't think there's any raise in this. And I think it was only just pipped there at the end, so I think this sets up nicely for it. I can't see them being beaten, to be honest. $3, good price.
Yeah, all fair commentary. The Angus Armanasco is next, Group 2 for the fillies over 1,400 metres. And this is clearly best horse here, isn't it? Number 2, Autumn Angel. I went up and down here, and it's a proper line chaser. It's, beat Tropical Squall at 2,000 last time in, but before that was very close to Griff, ran really well in that race. And this is a midweek race, realistically. I know there's lightly raced up-and-comers here, and they scare me a little bit. Rocking the Boat, I'm going to make the danger. One start for an impressive win, but realistically, this has the guts to its form. I'm going to go with it. I do think Harlow Miss coming down, fresh 1,400 is always interesting with those Sergeant staying fillies. We nearly got the money on one the other week. I've just forgotten. But anyway, Autumn Angel on top. I think it's hard to beat. My best of the day.
Yeah, I concur with you there. I think Autumn Angel, going back through form line last prep, should be really hard to beat here, as long as it doesn't get too far out of the ground and there's enough pace on here. It's never been out of the placings, and this sets up lovely, as you said. It should probably win better quality races than this. This is a pretty low quality Group 2.
The 4th is the Sydney Stakes, 1,200 metres, 3-year-old boys this time. Who have you come up with?
Yeah, interesting race here. I've stuck with Brave Me because I just thought that first up win might be this horse now to turn the corner. I mean, it had good form prior to in last prep, but probably expected to win a few more races. I think now that it's broken through, I think it's going to be super hard to beat in this. I've got it on top and clear on top pick here. Gate 11's not ideal, but hopefully it can get across and it can dictate terms here. Hardest to beat, Maharaba resuming from the Beg stable. I think he can run well fresh and had some good runs last time in behind the likes of Archo Nacho. So main danger, but Brave Mead clear on top as well.
I came up with Brave Mead too. I love the sustained speed it showed first up. It's going to be fitter for that. As you said, I think the Penny, not that it runs many bad races, but I think the Penny's dropped if it can race like that. It's going to win lots of races and maintain that. So if it crosses here, I don't know if Hello World will necessarily want to take up the lead and keep it out. But if it doesn't, I think Brave Mead's on top. You're right there.
Yep.
Needed Claritine or something.
Yes.
It's on top. Yeah, hard to beat. I made the danger Pivot City, who never ever got a crack first up at the Valley. Was jog trotting behind him. You go back to last prep at a lovely win, then went to town where it started $4 against a few of these, and just never really got into that race. It's come back in good order. I think it has plenty of upside at $9. Will make that the danger. The 5th is the Autumn Classic, another one for the 3-year-olds, 1,800 metres. Up-and-comers here as well, looking for fresh bloods. I started out thinking I was just going to almost declare immediacy, but, geez, United Kingdom was impressive debutant. Has since gone and trialled against Gold Trip and trialled really well there. D-Lane again, it's going to roll across. It won't roll across, it'll drag back on. My map's upside down. It's going to sit back and wind them up. It did lead up a trial. Big, strong Our Man's Orcolt. I like the look of it. It's on top for me from immediacy, who looked gone about the 400 last time out and then only got going in the last 200 and rounded up that field well. The stable have a Derby contender each year, and I suggest this is probably another one. So 9 from 2, other bits and pieces, lightly raced horses. Interesting to watch and learn, but what have you made of this?
You mean 8 from 2?
Yeah, what did I say?
Gone,
yeah, 8.
You said 9.
Yeah, sorry.
I've gone for United Kingdom as well. For all the reasons you said, I love the way it hit the line first up. It was well fancied, wound up and paid to him fairly quickly there. Gets an extra 300 here. I think we'll be winding up again here, and I'm keen to see how good this this one is, and so I've got it on top, and I think around the $5 mark's the best value in the race at the moment.
Beautiful. We've got the next two group. This is Group 2. We've got the Wait for Age races up next, and honestly, what the state of these Wait for Age races is disgraceful at the moment. These fields are terrible. The Futurity is a joke. We'll get to that in a sec. But how do you line up this race? El Soliado can run a place here at $2.50 because it'll be the sole leader. It's who do you like? I'll let you go, but then I'll rage.
You were pretty much right on the money with the quality of the race. For that reason, I just can't go past Gold Trip.
Yeah.
It's just by far and above the best horse in this race. And it only has to be near 80% to win this. We know it can run well. It's never won first up. That's the only thing. It's only won 3 races, but it has finished 6 placings out of 8 when it is first up. It should be winning this if it's going to do anything in this preparation. Again, just its win strike rate always is a bit of concern with Gold Trip, but should be getting its, for a horse that's only won 3 races, $7 million, should be getting its 4th win here.
Yeah, I set out to think, okay, back and wound up fresh and we'll run home into a place, but when you look at the fact its last 2 2,000-metre runs, it was had that unlucky run in the Cox Plate and then smashed Romantic Warrior at Flemington, or vice versa. Before that, smashed Romantic Warrior. Even if they jog, it's got the best turn of foot. So the more I've thought about it, the more I think it'll win. I went looking for Campanessa, but at the end of the day, it's just gutless New Zealand fillies form. I thought, this is a proper horse, and I don't know if it wins, fair enough. But I couldn't come up with anything else. I hope last time Foxy Cleopatra would have gone forward. It didn't. Blah, blah, blah. I can bag the rest, so I'm just left with the favourite. It'll probably win. This next is 1,400-metre Group 1 Futurity Stakes. Wait for Age again. Mr. Brightside's going to win. Everyone's going to rave about it. This race stinks. I don't have anything to say.
This race stinks. Everyone's going to rave about it. Mr. Brightside wins.
Yeah. Cool. This 8th, at least we've got a couple of good races now. The feature is the 1,200-metre Group 1 Blue Diamond Stakes, in which we tipped Artorias a couple of years ago. One of our better results on the show, actually. But this is a good race. Gay's lobbed one down here just to make it interesting. I see money's come for Coleman. Do you want to talk about a proper race now?
Yeah, off you go.
Okay. I'm tipping Gay. I've come up with that she sent one of her army down here. It's going to roll forward. She's going to steamroll along and make it very hard for anyone to get past. So putting it on top officially, I'm going to cover a few at a price, though. I may even back them each way, not back gazing when I think about this. First is Matisse, who's 20s, hasn't drawn a gate or prep, has hit the line, 1,000 metres, 1,100 metres beautifully. I think gate 1 can just lurk along on the inside. We'll need some luck, might be 3 the pegs, but at 20s, happy to find out. I'm also going to have something on Traffic Warden. I think a big field, it's swooping, puts it in the game, and had some interest in, and if I'm backing that, I guess Fearless has to be thought about here at $35 as well. Mickey D for the Snowdens. If you had backed, like I had High Octane last time out, that was a complete barrier trial, and it would not surprise me being in a finish here. So I know I've mentioned a few at a price, but for the sake of if I'm putting these in some order, I'm going to go Gladiator Camelot from High Octane, but I'm quite keen, at least in the quaddie, if not in a first four, to play those ones at value, because I think there could be some improvement we're not seeing. Excited to see the race, though. It doesn't end there. Who have you come up with?
Yeah, you're right. I think, these races, you've got to look at upside and which horses have got some further improvement out of them on the last couple of starts. And I couldn't go past Coleman.
Yeah,
I just thought that first up run was outstanding. Won its first race start very comfortably and then came out last start, and when it hit the go button, that acceleration I thought was outstanding.
Perfect gate too.
It's got the perfect gate here, and if it accelerates like that again, it's going to be fitter. It sort of sat second chasing, and it was like bang, it was all over in a twinkling, and it put a space on them. It was only a small field. So there's a few more horses here to contend with, but I kind of look at a lot of these down in the market, and some of them have got wide draws. I just can't see them challenging. The main dangers I did have is high octane. I thought that was, you're right, I thought that was a lot to like about it. It's only a couple of starts. And I thought there might be some improvement in the 14, Kuro Yangagi, from coming over from South Australia. Just thought it might have some upside to it and gets the right drawing gate too. So could be one to watch around the $15 mark. So that was sort of the three I liked, but Coleman for me.
Great race though. Like, I know we've been a bit negative, but really excited to see it. The next is the other Group 1, the Oakleigh Plate, Group 1 level. They always fly along in this, and this is a very, very interesting race too. You found Uncommon James here last year at nearly double figures for us. Who do you like here this time round?
Yeah, I like a few here. I've gone for Benedetta, resuming.
Yes.
Think it's going to be super hard to beat. Really good speedster here. Goes well first up, but I love last campaign when it finished fourth in the Silver Eagle. I think it's going to have come on from that. Won first up Flemington last time in, showing that it's packed with potential. I like the 53 kilos. I like the 5 gate, and I think everything points in its favour to run a really good race first up. I think As4 is going to be the hardest to beat. I know it got run down last start, but again, it was probably the sitting shot again in that race. Got to the front, didn't have a lot of luck from that. Gate 11 here is a little bit trickier, but I think it'll just have to sit and hold as long as it can before it lets down and makes it run. So I think it's going to be super hard to beat, and I think it's got a lot of improvement. And I think you can't go past Ray Maginero as well. I think he can run another huge race. I think Gate 12 suits. It probably gets on the back of something like Asphora if it can, and it may produce at the end with a really light weight. So those were the three I was looking at.
Yeah, I agree. Benedetta is one of mine as well. I looked at the race similarly, and I'm excited, and you've done the same thing. I'm keen to bet against King's Gambit because I feel like once a blowtorch is on, it's going to pop, and we can. We've got 25% of the market to not worry about. Benedetta just will probably map in the perfect spot. Plenty of pace. It's just going to be the lurking behind the speed, and at some point we'll look the winner. I thought Kallos' resumption was fantastic against most of these key rivals. It just needs to pull out. We need to be able to see them run on, but could round them up, similar to how I guess Warham did all those years ago, but can come down the outside and catch some of these tide sprinters if there is a heap of pace. And Skewiff interests me from just super fresh, doing nothing in the run, grabbing some leaders late. Was heavily backed every start last prep, and I think it's got some talent, so might just be the knockout in this. But super, again, interest to see how Ray matches up here at a decent price. A horse like Sugrippa coming off a demolition job could match up as well. So great little sprint race they've put together. Thumbs up for them. 1400 metre Mannerism Stakes takes us home for the mares, and I wanted to be against this, but I've ended up just deciding Vagrant's absolutely flying. Last 3 wins, has had lots of favours, but has done a very, very good job. Gets gate 1 again, just going to camp there. Has a great turn of foot. Gets D Lane, who's in for a big day. And it's on top. You're still getting an each-way price. Revolutionary Miss, you know what you get every time. It's going to just put itself right in the box seat. Anything goes wrong, it'll win. And a race like this, from my quality, this is a race where a horse like Vizia could knock out, just back up in grade, down in weight, with pace on, it might just find itself in front and blow over now the quaddy. So it's at least going in my quaddy to wrap up the day. But what are you thinking?
I've gone the same, Vagrant. I think it's a perfect setup here. I think gate 1's, it's tracked along Penthouse and sort of sat in behind Penthouse there behind the lead, and then just got the split and exploded past. I think that sets up nicely for this as well. I think it might get a very similar run here, and you're right, it's flying at the moment, and I think it's going to be hardest to beat. I thought around the $556 mark was a good way to play the last race of the day.
Awesome. Let's hear your quaddy for Blue Diamond Stakes Day.
Yeah, starting off in race 7, the first leg, I'm just going Mr. Brightside, 1 out. to kick off the day and keep it nice and skinny. When we get to the second leg, I'm going to go number 4, Coleman, number 13, Lady Camelot, number 8, High Octane, number 14, Koriyanagi, and number 10, Fearless. When we get to race 9, which is the third leg, I'm going number 2, Asphora, number 8, Benedetta, number 14, Ray Agniero, and number 1, Kallos. And to finish the day, I'm going number 1, Revolutionary Miss, number 4, Vagrant, number 6, Party for One, and number 9, Vasilia.
50's 1 and a quarter. I love it, Beaver. Good from you.
Yeah, something wide finish the day when we've gone one out in the first leg.
Lovely. My best, I'm going to make it race 3, number 2, Autumn Angel. My value, let's go, all the ones we've spoken about are a nice price in those features, but we'll go race 9, number 1, Kallos, and I think Matisse in the Blue Diamond at $15 might be a sneaky there. What do you like?
Race 2, number 7, Midtown Boss is my best on the day. My value comes up in the last. Race 10 at number 4, Vagrant. I think that's overs.
Perfect. Let's head up to Rosehill for a very tricky card, but an interesting card nonetheless to discuss. We've got a soft 7 at the moment. Warm day today. They've had 50 mil rain this week. We'll see what... I've given up predicting Sydney weather, but I'm going to say Rail True, it plays dead and hopefully even, but depending on whether we get a storm or not this afternoon is probably the key. We kick off with a midway. Heaven help us here. Benchmark 74, midway 1,500 metres. And I was, tipped glad to think so resuming at a price. I thought that was a fantastic resumption with a senior jockey. Probably wins for us, but now Molly Burke, third defence in a race like this leaves me less excited. I'm putting on top with one eye closed, but tricky way to start the day. Electrica, really good return at Canterbury. If it turns up here, no jockey booked yet, so... But if it turns up here second up, I think at $15 it's overs. Next best Pharaoh's Lorraine's going to lead. That was a pretty good resumption too. And it does no harm to be the first leader at Rosehill. How have you seen this midway?
Yeah, I'm not going to waste as much oxygen as you. I've just gone for number 1, Electrica. I think it presents good value in an open race.
Highway up next, class 3, 1,400 metres. Anything here?
Tricky little race. I wasn't getting all that excited by it, but I went for number 2, Belvedere Boys, just with the Rawilla Dunn combination, third up. Won it and then came here. Wasn't disgraced last start. I think it probably gets a better run here. Flew home last start. Hard to beat.
I like Vino Lastan here at a price. I thought it was a good resumption there at Warwick Farm. Chase just got nabbed by Super Bright up the fence. Leads this, which again no disadvantage, and around $9 going to put it on pass on top. Undercover Belvedere Boys snagged right back, only got going late. I think extra distance, and Nash are obviously big ticks and would not shock me at all. So they're the two key ones there. The third, 1,100 metre benchmark 78, a cracking little 78 actually, where you could make a case for probably all of these. Can you make a case for one on top, though?
Yeah, I'm going to go for number 2. She's an A-lister.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest it can win 4 straight here and continue on its winning way. I love the way it's chasing lately. Big Tintuki, which has got ability and ran it down last start in a tight finish. I think Dipsy Doodle might go quick and it might just get the sitting shot here and not be too good at the end. Main danger of the resuming Ballroom Bella. I think he can run nicely first up.
I'm going She's an A-lister as well. Just a real line chaser. Gets to camp right behind what should be a strong pace. I don't think Dipsy Doodle goes as fast as with J-Mac on as it did last time, but that was actually a very strong run first up, given the work it did. So I'll make it the danger. Ballroom Bella scares me. Bandy's Boy scares me. Shadows of Love scares me. So yeah, She's an A-lister predominantly. If you can get each way it, that probably be the only bet. 1,100 metre Silver Slipper Stakes. And a racing 2 from me, Gay and Gay. Leading up, I'm putting Espionage on top. Very nice debut winner. It sat 4 wide, beat the other Hope here, who obviously has since come back and kicked on. Nash has trialled it both times. Nash is on it here, suggesting it could well be Nash's slipper horse. So stalking the leader, I think it gets the job done. But if Straight Charge leads and holds on, I wouldn't fall off my perch. Anything to add?
I'm just going to flip and go the other way.
Yeah.
Just because you went that way.
Okay, cool. It's not a bad way to bet, to be honest.
I've found that out before.
Nothing else? All right, good. The 1900 metre Parramatta Cup, the listed race is up next. I'll let you tip in this one. There you go.
Thank you, Matt. I'm going to go for number 13, Zenzilla here, working up to another win here. Comes off a bit of a freshen up. But this last start, it finished third behind So United, but they went across the line together there at the Gold Coast. I think here just gate 6 draws nicely. The freshen up, I think, suits. Trialled well back here. Gets a little bit of relief from the weight last start when they met, and I've got it on top. Thought the prices might be a little bit closer, but we'll see on the day. You might get.
I think you get better. I love the trial since the Gold Coast. It was trialled in Sydney, flew around there. It's on top for me. I won't add much more. I do want to look at Calipore, Stroke of Luck, and Almania in my early quarter. I think all are big prices and all can run well here. But I'm not going to waffle on about all the chances. 1400 metre, benchmark 100, just for something different. What am I doing here? I'm still a bit sucked in by that trial from Wellwall down south a couple of weeks ago. And if it actually runs, if it actually ever gets the races ever again, I'll have something on at $15 here. In the hope it is a top horse. Let's find out of the ones that are likely to turn up, though. I'm going to put Kinlock on top. He's flying. Went back and rounded him up for us at a big price. First up, went to the Gold Coast, smashed him. Comes back here. Nash jumps back on. As long as the track is playing fair, I think he can do it again. From Marquez, who did everything right chasing last time out. We're better for that, and is the other danger. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Robusto here. I like the way it's going at the moment. McDonald-Waller combination. Only just beaten the last start with 60 kgs. Gets in here with 55. I think it's going well enough to run a big race here in what's a very open race. And I had it just ahead of Kinlock as the main danger, so I'll chop out on it. So, but Robusto for me.
Beautiful. 1,300 metres. Millie Fox Stakes is next for the girls. Does Lady Laguna just look obvious?
It looks obvious to me, and I've gone that way. Went through this field looking for a danger. Struggled to find one. If anything, Vienna Princess could run well, but Lady Laguna looks to have their measure for me.
Yep. If you're looking for a trifecta, I'll throw Vienna Princess and Renaissance Woman in. Both in the double figures, but I think Lady Laguna's airborne. And when these girls get in form, they just tend to stay there until you see otherwise. The 8th is the feature, the Group 2 Hobartville Stakes, 1,400 metres. Interesting race, because we know them all fairly well now. Who's on top?
Yeah, it is an interesting race. I've gone for Ducassi.
Yeah, okay,
I thought that was a really good resumption there, and I think it has a bit of upside. That was a good little win there when it was favoured in the market. I like the step out to 1,400 now. I thought that was a good win. I think it can draw. It's drawn nice enough here to get the right run in transit, and I think it can be really figuring in the finish. And at an each way price, pretty keen on it to run a good race.
Yeah, I like the kill it came back with. It is my main danger. I'm going to stick with Tom Kitten. That was a complete barrier trial first up. Snagged out the back, worked home, came home to the fastest 200 of the race. Only got warmed up in that last 200. It's Nash's horse. Nash is back. He jumps on board. I think gate 4 will be closer. And if it produces what we know it can, I think it can win. But as I've said, not overly enthralled with some of that old 3-year-old stuff. So yeah, Ducassi. I had to look through all Gay's things, but I couldn't really come up with anything to beat it. So yeah, let's go with Tom to be back on track there. The 9th is a benchmark 94 1,100 metre race. Good little 1,100 metre race. And once I finally got into this race, I decided this has more of a tail than it looks on paper at first blush, and I'm going to stick with Derry Grove, who was nosed out last time, coming back to Sydney. Before that, was very good at the Gold Coast. Nash jumps back on after Tommy sat 3 wide on it, and I'm going to say it's going to be very hard to beat again from Reynoso, who was very brave first up, rode the pace there, now with Brudenell coming out, should be able to find the 1-1, and around $11 will make that the main danger. I think the 2 on paces are the only 2 hopes, which will be Frilled and Red Card. And after that, I think you can avoid most of the rest. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that's right. I've gone for Frilled. I think it can bounce back here. Was in the finish there, had to come up the inside and only just missed there. I think it was still going pretty good on the line there. I think it'll be fitter from that. And I think the 4 gate here sets up nicely. I think it can get another win on the board. So I've got it on top.
1300 metre benchmark 78 takes us home. Who are you finishing off the day in Sydney with?
Yeah, look, it wasn't a race that I was overly keen on, to be honest. It was really hard to line these up. I've ended up settling on the resuming Kintyre. Just thought he could run well first up here. Run well in some Group 3s before, raced in some good company, wasn't far off them. Showed enough in the trial to suggest it's come back, not that far off him. 2 starts go, finished a bit down the track, but racing Group 1, which Tom Kitten won and has run well in those. So I had it on top, just looking for a bit of value in the last.
No, fair. We've got to do a quaddie, don't we? First leg. I'm going to go 4 Renaissance Woman, 6 Lady Laguna, 7 Lekvate, 8 Vienna Princess. Second leg, 1 Tom Kitten, 2 NCAP, 3 Ducasse, and 3 Gunbarre, and 5 Ducasse. Third leg, 2 Derry Grove, 4 Red Card, 7 Reynoso, 11 Frilled, and we'll come home with 3 High Blue. Oh, I didn't do my tips in the last. I was giving High Blue Sea another chance. They'll all run well. 3 High Blue Sea, 5 Starman, 6 Dakota Vroom, 7 Rupertar, and 19 Gently Rolled. If you like Beaver, throw Kinto in. Why not? Won't hurt anyone. About 30% for $100 on that. What's happening? Where are we? Up north? Doomben.
Best bets?
Oh, yeah, do that too.
You're all over the shop.
I need an afternoon nap. It's been a big day.
You do.
I did the lawn
Best
and everything.
bet for Beaver.
Get going. Do it.
Race 4, number 2, Straight Charge. And my value bet comes up in race 8, number 5, Ducasse.
I went up and down this trying to find a best. I'm going to make it Tom Kitten. Race 8, number 1. And my value, the couple of stayers, I know I didn't necessarily tip it on top, but I think they'll both run well in the 5th. 3 Calipore, 7 Stroke of Luck, both around 20 to 1. Are worth some thought. Yeah, Doomben, go.
Yeah, Doomben, I had race 3, number 2, African Daisy, that will now start race up there. Thought it could be hard to beat. Race 6, number 2, Boom Talk.
Yep.
I think it's going to be super hard to beat. And then later in the day, race 9, number 11, She's a Rogue.
Beautiful. And just quickly, as mentioned earlier, Morphettville, race 8, number 12, Miss Icelandic, heads over the border. She's flying. Can run the Quinella with Chicago Storm, my old friend there. That's it. Blue Diamond Stakes Day. Looking forward to seeing it all pan out. Thank you, Beaver.
Thank you, sir.
Subscribe, leave some comments, leave your best bets below. And we'll be back. We've got Rosehill midweek this time, so we'll be back Tuesday night to get stuck into Rosehill. Then next week we've got Australian Guineas Day and the Very Elegant Stakes coming up. So we're fully into the swing of autumn. All that to look forward to. Subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. And we'll chat soon. See you guys.